Hello, Aries. If you're listening to this right now, maybe there's still something unspoken inside your heart. Maybe it's a quiet ache, a question without an answer, or simply the feeling that someone once walked into your life and left a space no one else could ever fill. But stay with me, just for a few moments, because what you're about to hear isn't a story about loss, it's about awareness, about how the universe used love to help you grow, to make your soul deeper, stronger and kinder. Aries, you were born to lead, to dare, to love, to live, to burn brightly. Yet sometimes the very people who hurt you are the ones who help you meet the truest version of yourself. And somewhere along that journey, there will always be one soul, the one who makes your heart ignite and ache at the same time. Someone from a world made of emotion, of gentle waves, strong enough to make fire pause and listen. That person is Cancer. Some flames are born to light the world, but others are born to learn how to burn without consuming themselves. Aries, the pioneering soul of the universe, carries the energy of beginnings, of courage, of living life without restraint. You are the first thunder after a storm, the blazing sunrise while the night still lingers. But on your journey as fire, there were times when you loved as if your whole heart were a torch, bright, fast, unstoppable. And when it faded, what remained was a quiet ache, a kind of pain that had no name. People often ask, why are the strongest souls the ones who hurt the most? Perhaps because they love without armor, love as if it were their last chance. Aries doesn't know how to love halfway. You don't calculate, you don't hold back. When you love, you give everything. And that's why when love falls apart, the wound it leaves runs deeper than most can see. But sometimes, the ones who hurt you most are the ones who bring you closest to your soul. No one is ever truly a mistake in love, Aries. Every person who enters your life carries a mirror, reflecting the part of you you've yet to meet. The one who made you cry taught you how to listen. The one who left taught you how to stand on your own. And the one who broke you gave you the chance to rise again from your own ashes. They say love is the test of the soul, but in truth, love is the path home to who you really are, where you no longer need to prove or to be understood, only to be. Love doesn't come to make us perfect. It comes to make us real. Each time you love, right or wrong, deep or broken, the universe sends you a lesson, a reminder that your heart still feels, still beats, still lives. Imagine, one day you look back at the person who once made you cry, and instead of resentment, you smile, because now you know they didn't come to destroy you. They came to open a door inside you, a door leading to compassion, awareness, and gratitude. Aries, take a moment, breathe in deeply and think of someone who changed you forever. No names, no reasons, just feel their energy. They came, they hurt you, but they also made you stronger, more honest, more alive. They were a necessary part of your journey. Life isn't measured by the people who stay, but by the souls that awaken you. And every time you ache from love, it's not the end, it's another step toward the light. Because fire is never afraid of the dark. Fire only fears forgetting that it was born to shine, not to destroy. Maybe your first love made you passionate, the second made you ache, and the third made you realize it's not about who stays, but who helps you become someone better. And when you look back on your journey, a warrior who has loved fiercely, fallen, risen, and still believes in love, you'll see the universe was never against you. It was only teaching you how to love wisely, how to love with awareness, how to love with compassion. Because sometimes the greatest lesson of fire is not to burn brighter, but to learn how to warm without hurting anyone. And somewhere along this journey, among the souls least compatible with your flame, there's one who comes to you wrapped in emotion, whose heart feels as deep as the ocean, the one who makes your heart ignite and ache at once. That soul is Cancer, the spirit of water, of feeling, of waves so gentle yet powerful enough to drown the flame unless you learn to listen. In the realm of souls that truly know how to love, there is one encounter the universe never forgets, the moment when the fire of Aries touches the ocean of Cancer, a meeting that seems gentle, yet powerful enough to stir a tidal wave of emotion, where passion and fear blend into one, and two souls stand not only before each other, but before the deepest corners of their own hearts. Cancer enters Aries' life like warm water, soft, caring, tender, so gentle that it makes the impulsive, blazing fire slow down without even noticing. Aries, who lives by the rhythm of thunder and lightning, suddenly finds themselves in a space of stillness. Here everything moves slower, the breath, the heartbeat, even the words seem to carry weight. At first, Aries feels confused. How can someone love through silence? How can love be felt in a gentle touch rather than loud promises? Why does it ask for stillness instead of action? Cancer teaches Aries that not all love must be proven through strength or speed. Sometimes gentleness is the warmest kind of fire, but that very difference, if not understood, can become a fracture no love can mend. Aries loves through action. They want to be seen, felt, experienced. Cancer loves through intuition. They feel everything so deeply that the fear of loss never leaves them. One demands freedom, the other seeks safety. One rushes forward, the other steps back to hold balance. And when fire wants to rise, while water longs to rest, the storm begins. Aries feels trapped by Cancer's quiet sensitivity, and Cancer fears the flame will vanish unless they hold on tighter. In that moment, love stops being a calm current and becomes an ocean in turmoil. Water tries to contain the fire, while fire struggles to break free. Both love deeply, but they speak different languages, and when two hearts can't understand each other, they end up wounding one another, not out of cruelty, but through their purest attempt to love. Cancer never realizes that by holding on too tightly, they slowly smother the flame within Aries. And Aries doesn't know that every time they walk away, they leave behind a soul who still prays for their happiness, even if that happiness no longer includes them. Some loves aren't written to last, but to awaken. Cancer doesn't come to make Aries weaker. They come to teach patience, to show that love isn't about claiming, but about understanding that every soul has its own rhythm. Sometimes the one who slows you down isn't holding you back, they're helping you feel life more deeply. Cancer is the mirror that lets Aries see the part of themselves they'd forgotten, the part that listens, that waits, that loves without needing to win. And when the fire finally learns that not all silence is emptiness, but sometimes love itself speaking in another language, the soul of Aries ascends. Learn that love isn't just a journey shared with another, it's the journey within yourself, to keep the fire without burning, to stay warm without consuming. The love between Aries and Cancer is a meeting of two elements that cannot blend, yet somehow they illuminate each other. And whether the waves drown the fire, or the fire turns the water to mist, their memory remains, proof that you once loved with everything you had. And one day when you look back, you'll smile realizing that love wasn't a failure, but a gift. A gift that reminded you your heart still feels, still softens, and still dares to love again. And as the light inside you steadies, you'll sense something shifting. For after Cancer, the soul of water, comes the soul of earth. A presence that won't teach you emotion, but boundaries, discipline, and the structure of the heart. That's where the fire of Aries will face its next test, under the precise, grounding light of Virgo. In life, some people walk in like mirrors, showing us the parts of ourselves we've never dared to face. For Aries, Virgo is that mirror, clear, sharp, and sometimes painfully honest to look into. Virgo doesn't come to feed your flame, but to teach you how to see your own light, how to let it burn longer, steadier, without destroying everything around it. Virgo loves with reason, through straight lines, careful steps, and the smallest details that others often overlook. Aries, you love with your heartbeat, impulsive, spontaneous, alive in the moment. To Virgo, love is a plan, organized, structured with rules and expectations. To Aries, love is a wild journey, the natural breath of the soul. When these two worlds collide, something magical happens. But so does a friction that neither can escape. At first, Aries is drawn to Virgo's calm, to their quiet eyes that listen, their steady hands that bring order to chaos. You feel safe, almost grateful, as if someone finally knows how to build the foundation you never stopped dreaming of. But soon, time reveals something fire rarely tolerates: control, structure, a kind of correctness so rigid it starts to suffocate emotion. Virgo doesn't mean to hurt. They simply want everything to be right, to make sense. They love you the only way they know how, with order, with advice, with reason. But while they try to rearrange your fire, you, Aries, begin to feel trapped in their framework. You start to lose your joy, that impulsive spark that makes you, you. You are no longer a wild flame running free, but a candle trembling in the breeze of doubt. And in that stillness, a quiet question arises inside you. Is love supposed to feel like gentle control disguised as care? Or are you slowly becoming the version of yourself someone else prefers? It's there, in that whisper of realization, that your soul begins to awaken. You see that love isn't a project to be fixed. No one is meant to be redesigned. Love is the space where two souls grow together, not through correction but through understanding. Virgo teaches you patience, attention, and the quiet value of slowing down to notice what truly matters. But you, Aries, teach Virgo the beauty of freedom, the sacred truth that imperfection is what makes love human. When one seeks to control and the other only wants to be free, love becomes a battlefield of silence. No one wins, yet both souls learn exactly what they came to learn. Aries learns to listen without losing identity. Virgo learns to love without needing to understand everything. And within all the noise there comes a moment, small, fleeting, yet unforgettable, when your eyes meet and both hearts know. This connection, even if it cannot last, was meant to happen. It was here to teach Aries that stability doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes, real peace comes from daring to live as your truest self, even if that choice shakes the ground beneath you. Don't love someone just because they make you seem stable, Aries. Love the one who makes you feel alive, who makes your heart race not from fear but from freedom. And as your flame begins to find its rhythm again, as you realize love doesn't need control, only trust, a new door quietly opens. Beyond it stands another soul, strong, cold, unwavering. One who will not just challenge your freedom, but illuminate your limits. That soul is Capricorn, the one the universe sends to teach you that love is not only passion, but power, responsibility, and the sacred choice between control and surrender. When two powerful souls meet, the universe holds its breath. Aries and Capricorn, two warriors born on opposite sides of the same mountain, both believe their path is the right one, that the summit belongs only to those who never stop climbing. But when love rises between them, it isn't a soft melody. It's a symphony of power, challenge, and pride. Aries charges forward like a gust of hot wind, believing passion can conquer anything. Capricorn stands firm, steady as the mountain itself, believing that all great things are built through time and discipline. One moves from instinct, the other moves from strategy. And between them, love becomes a battlefield where neither is willing to lower their sword. At first, that difference is what draws them together. Aries admires Capricorn's calm, their quiet strength, their ability to stay the course even in the middle of a storm. Capricorn, in turn, is fascinated by the fire in Aries' eyes, that radiant spark of courage and desire that dares to defy limits. They see in each other what they themselves are missing. Aries wants to learn patience. Capricorn wants to remember passion. But as love deepens, the harmony begins to crack. Aries grows restless with Capricorn's slow pace and careful structure. Capricorn becomes weary of Aries' impulsiveness and chaos. Both want to lead, and neither wants to follow. Each carries a powerful ego, and when neither lays it down, love turns into a contest of endurance, of pride, of who will surrender first. In love, no one needs to win, because when both try to control, the fire turns to ash. And when that fire fades, what remains is silence, a stillness where each must face themselves, raw and alone. Aries realizes that passion cannot be imprisoned, that love is not about conquering someone, but about growing side by side. Capricorn, after trying so hard to control, understands that power cannot make anyone stay, only understanding and compassion can. Strangely, though this relationship rarely lasts, it always leaves a mark. Aries learns that real strength isn't in breaking free, but in restraint. Capricorn learns that sometimes, even discipline must melt in the warmth of emotion. This is the kind of love that shapes both souls long after it ends, a love made of iron and fire, painful to touch but shining beautifully once forged. Aries walks away from this battle with a heart less impulsive, more grounded, learning that surrender isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because sometimes, surrender is the only way to keep what truly matters. Capricorn teaches Aries the power of patience, the quiet strength in stillness, and the truth that love doesn't always mean charging forward. Sometimes, it means standing still and letting time speak for you. And when Aries understands this, they see that love is never just about two people. It is a sacred forge, a place where the soul is tested and refined, until it becomes something brighter than before. Yet even after learning to release control, after setting down the armor of pride, the universe isn't done with Aries. There's still one lesson left, deeper, darker, more consuming. A love that doesn't test the mind but the spirit itself. That is when the flame of Aries meets the shadowed intensity of Scorpio, where passion doesn't just burn, it strips the soul bare, turning love into a journey through both heaven and hell. Some relationships are not meant to last, they're meant to awaken the soul. And between Aries and Scorpio, it's never just love. It's a pilgrimage through fire and shadow, where two forces collide like thunder splitting the night sky. Aries, the flame that burns openly under the heavens, fearless and direct. Scorpio, the fire that burns beneath the water, secretive, magnetic, intense enough to make the heart lose its way. When these two souls meet, the universe pauses. It is the meeting of two primal powers, instinct and depth, courage and devotion. Two hearts unafraid to live and unafraid to love all the way to the edge. Their love feels like twin currents twisting around one another. Aries rushes in believing that passion can save anything. Scorpio wants to merge, to know, to possess, to touch the very place where the other soul hides. In that chase, they love like warriors and hurt like prisoners caught in the war they created. This connection teaches Aries one of life's hardest lessons, that passion is not ownership, that love is not about holding someone close, but about seeing them, truly seeing them, their light, their darkness, and still choosing to love without needing to change a thing. Scorpio learns too that love does not mean control, that even when you know someone's soul by heart, you cannot keep them in your hands forever. When these two love, they love with everything. Scorpio wants to dissolve into Aries to become one flame. Aries longs for freedom, to explore, to move, to reach for new light. Both fear losing the other, yet it is that very fear that tightens their grip until love starts to suffocate. There are days when they love as if no one else exists, and nights when silence between them feels heavy as stone. In that silence, love becomes a mirror, reflecting their deepest wounds: jealousy, doubt, pride, and the ancient fear of abandonment. Aries feels pulled, tested, drowned in the deep waters where they cannot breathe. Scorpio feels unseen, betrayed by a flame that changes too quickly. Both love, both hurt, and both learn. Then one day when the storm finally softens, Aries looks into Scorpio's eyes and sees not an enemy but a reflection. You realize that true love needs no chains. It only needs trust, the quiet faith that if two souls are meant for each other, it will always find their way back to the same fire, even if they live in different worlds. Scorpio teaches Aries the language of depth, of feelings that defy reason, and Aries teaches Scorpio that love is not just obsession in the dark, but also light, a space where freedom and belonging can coexist. Sometimes the universe sends us people not to stay, but to show us who we are, how we love, how we break, and how we let go. Aries, you did not lose by walking away. You simply closed a chapter, and in that chapter you learned the truth, that love doesn't come to control you, it comes to free you from the fear of losing. Imagine a morning after the storm, the sky opening, sunlight streaming through the mist, and your heart still burning, but with a gentler flame, one that warms, not destroys. That is the gift this love leaves behind, a kind of wisdom that can't be learned through peace, only etched into the soul through experience. And as that light spreads soft as breath, the spirit of Aries feels something new approaching, a different energy, tender, dreamlike, like fog rolling over the horizon. It doesn't come to test you, but to soothe you. That is when the fire of Aries meets the dreamy ocean of Pisces, where the deepest lesson of compassion and unconditional love is waiting to unfold. In a world where fire and water rarely find common ground, there exists one sacred moment, a moment not meant for victory but for healing. It is when the soul of Aries touches the gentle, mysterious, and compassionate energy of Pisces, the one who doesn't come to test you but to soothe you. Pisces loves like the ocean, deep, quiet, and full of secrets that no one can fully know. Aries loves like fire, fierce, honest, and burning with pure passion. Two souls from two very different worlds. One lives in motion, the other in stillness. One shines like sunlight, the other drifts like mist. And yet when they meet, something miraculous happens. Pisces makes Aries slow down, not through force, not through logic, but through presence. Just by being there, Pisces calms the flame. They don't argue, they don't compete, they don't need to prove anything. They simply listen, feel, and love with quiet understanding. And sometimes that silence unsettles Aries more than any storm ever could. Aries, who is used to running fast, suddenly begins to hear the sound of their own heartbeat, the rhythm of their breath, and the trembling of unspoken fears. Pisces doesn't just come to love you, they come to teach you how to love. This love is a mirror reflecting the softness you once denied in yourself. You begin to realize that not every moment demands strength, that surrender isn't defeat, it's trust. Pisces teaches Aries that love doesn't need to win, that love isn't a race, it's a journey where two souls grow together, not quickly but deeply and truly. With Pisces, Aries learns to touch the world with compassion, listen not to reply but to understand, to be present not to impress but to connect, and most importantly to see that not everyone who challenges you is your enemy. Sometimes they are messengers from the universe, sent to teach you how to love with an open heart. When Aries stands beside Pisces, the fire no longer wants to explode. It becomes light, soft, steady, peaceful. You find yourself vulnerable yet unafraid, slower yet more alive. Because for the first time, you understand that sometimes you don't need to do anything, you only need to be. Pisces brings healing without words. They don't advise, they don't preach, they simply show you that compassion is another kind of fire, one that warms, not burns. And when you learn this, your flame no longer stands alone. It becomes light, the kind of light that warms the world. One day when you look back, you will smile, because in this love, you didn't just find someone, you found yourself. The version of you that can love without conquering, live without proving, and find peace without control. The connection between Aries and Pisces is the final chapter before your fire becomes whole. It is where strength meets tenderness, where passion merges with mercy, and where the soul finally understands. The greatest love is not found in action, but in acceptance. And when all these lessons gather, from the emotional tides of Cancer, to the discipline of Virgo, the power struggle with Capricorn, the transformation with Scorpio, and now the gentleness of Pisces, Aries finally awakens to one great truth: no love was ever meaningless. Every encounter, short or long, painful or sweet, is a golden thread in the tapestry of destiny. And when you step back and see it from afar, you'll realize it all happened for a reason. No one ever truly loses in love. Aries, the one you thought broke your heart, the one you believed was your greatest mistake, was in truth a teacher sent by the universe. Every soul that crosses your path carries a piece of your destiny, and only when they leave do you finally see the whole picture. Some loves come to teach you how to love, some come to teach you how to let go, and some arrive only to remind you of what you once forgot, that you deserve to be loved, to be seen, to be chosen, not because you're perfect, but because you're you. Love has never been a game of winning or losing. It is a journey of growth. Every scar on your heart is proof that you have lived, that you've dared to love, to trust, to open. Wounds don't come to punish you, come to teach compassion. Tears don't fall in vain, they cleanse the soul of fear. You've never lost, Aries. You've only been learning to love on deeper levels. The one who made you cry taught you the value of kindness. The one who walked away didn't steal your love, they made you love yourself more. The one who betrayed you didn't destroy your heart, they cracked the shell of pride, so the light inside could finally shine through. Every goodbye carries a sacred reason. The universe never takes without giving something greater in return. And that gift is you, a wiser, softer, stronger version of yourself. Maybe today you still remember someone. Maybe it still aches. Maybe you can't yet call it a lesson. But one day when you look back, you'll see that everything, every tear, every silence, every ending was leading you exactly where you needed to go. To the home of your soul, where you no longer need to win anyone over, where you no longer chase love because you are love. The ones who broke you were never your enemies. They were mirrors. They came so you could see yourself more clearly. They came so you could learn forgiveness. They came so you could understand that love is not about holding on, but about letting someone go in peace and still wishing them light. True love never really leaves. It simply changes form. It becomes a blessing whispered when you see someone happy. It becomes strength when you walk alone without fear. It becomes light when you realize that through every heartbreak, you've become the person the universe always wanted you to be. Aries, your journey was never about finding perfect love. It's about finding the heart that's finally ready to love right. And when you understand that, you'll see nothing was ever lost. Only lessons, souls, and doors opening toward your awakening. And in that enlightenment, you'll know you never truly lost. You've only been learning to love in the light. Aries, share in the comments. Who was the greatest love mistake of your life and what did you learn from them? Every story is a spark of light, and when we share them, the sky grows brighter. Thank you for listening with an open heart. May your next love not come to test you, but to heal you. And may the universe hold your fire gently with peace and with light. May the universe bless your fire with peace, Aries.